Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. Once again, a debate between economic development, infrastructural expansion, and climate protocols, environmental protection has broken out. Just few months before, we were talking about the Great Nicobar project, an ambitious project in the Great Nicobar Island by the Indian government to improve India's strategic footprint in the Indian Ocean area, as well as to improve connectivity, to improve monitoring of the Strait of Malacca, was also rejected, was also criticized by the local communities, by the pro environmental activists who say that the project involves deforestation. It could also endanger biodiversity of the region, including some endangered endemic animals, or displacement to the tribals. But infrastructure versus environment is not a new thing. And once again, if we talk about the state of Arunachal Pradesh, an area which is quite contested between India and China, an area where India had created a befitting reply a few months before by creating and announcing a massive hydropower project. And the same Arunachal Pradesh is once again in the news. Today we are talking about the Nying hydroelectric project here. It is a project which, according to the government, will generate tons of renewable energy for the state. A project that will also generate employment, but it is coming at a cost of deforestation, at the cost of displacement of the local people. And once again, it is in controversy. So, yes, we are looking at the Nying hydroelectric project. And do remember, it is a run of the river scheme built on River CO, which is also called as River Yomgo. So, what do you mean by a run of the river project? So, let's understand hydroelectric projects, dams can be of different kinds, but when you mean run of the river, we mean a kind of hydroelectric project generation which uses the natural flow of the river itself. So, the natural stream flow of the river and the elevation drop of the river that is utilized to produce electricity without building any major dam or creating any major reservoir, and therefore it is considered quite environmental friendly as well as cost effective, because all we are doing here is diverting the water of the river through a canal into spin turbines from where the electricity generation happens, and then the water is returned to the river downstream. So it looks like a very ecologically sustainable model, and this Nying hydroelectric project has 4 units to it. 4 units of 250 megawatts each. The total capacity is huge. It is about 1000 megawatt capacity. So it has underground powerhouse, it has diversion tunnels, and it is expected that if completed, it will be able to generate electricity of about 4,966 gigawatts annually. And that's a lot of electricity with the potential to not only support Arunachal but the nearby states as well. Now, this will definitely be a great addition to India's decade of hydropower that we are celebrating from 2025 to 2035. So it will be a great addition here. It will also mean that India's own capacity to work towards supporting net zero carbon goal, net zero carbon emission, completely zero by 2070, and by 2030, at least trying to create 500 megawatts of power generation from renewable source. That will also be fulfilled. It is a great measure in that direction. Now, talking about how will it create so much electricity, sustainability, because Nying is one of the 5 major hydroelectric projects in the Shiyomi district. The others are the Hio project, the Hirong project, the Tato project 1 and the Tato 2. All these projects contribute to Arunachal Pradesh's goal of supporting India's hydroelectricity production, as well as I just mentioned, the achievement of zero carbon emission targets. But the project that was approved earlier is under controversy today. The reason being that environmental and social concerns are predominating. So, therefore, it has been decided now that on 12th November 2025, there shall be a public environmental hearing. It will be a public consultation in which a proper discussion, assessment will be done regarding what impact will the project have on general the ecosystem in terms of forest, in terms of riverbed. At the same time, what impact shall it have on the communities that inhabit this area? So that's going to be happening now on 12th of November. The target construction, the deadline to start the construction was by 2028, and the plant was supposed to be commissioned by 2032, quite in line with the decade for hydropower. But today, as the project is being called as being so strategically important, for example, the Nayang project is quite in line with India's broader renewable energy goals. We understand that India is taking leadership in solar energy. We also understand the geothermal energy mission that has been announced. The critical minerals mission also is there. Much recently, just yesterday, India has also signed another pact with Australia to work towards more mining and processing of rare earth materials. So many initiatives are being taken to switch towards natural gas. And in that light, this project here will also reduce India's dependence on fossil fuel. It will also promote sustainable development because we are not creating a major dam here. We are not changing the landscape. We are just using the natural flow, the natural strength of river, which means ideally, according to the government, the displacement should not be too much. But that's not something that the local communities are agreeing with. And that's why the public hearing has been scheduled now. Now, if you talk about the Siom River, the Yomgo River, then it is a right bank tributary of Brahmaputra River, which flows entirely within Arunachal Pradesh. So that's important to remember with regards to geography. And it arises in West Siang, flows for about 170 kilometers only to join Brahmaputra near Assam. This area is a very fertile area, promotes biodiversity. It promotes the livelihood for many local pastoral communities because it is situated within Eastern Himalaya biodiversity hotspot, an area with its own endemic flora fauna. Many of these areas are protected. For example, the Moling National Park. The Moling National Park is situated on the eastern bank here, and it is a part of the larger Dibang Siang biosphere landscape. So, naturally, the concern by the environmentalists and the local communities are valid because even if it is a run of the river project, there has to be some concretization, there has to be some displacement associated with it. And people say that it is this area that plays a very important role for irrigation too, because it has water potential. So, yes, it is being utilized for irrigation. It regulates microclimatic conditions. It provides potential for clean energy. So, it's a very, very strategically important region. But then, what about the interest of the local indigenous people? People from communities like the Adi tribe from Siang, the Upper Siang, the Eastern Siang, West Siang, the Dibang Valley districts have stood up in opposition. They say that their homes, their forest, their livelihood will be threatened with the risk of submersion. This also should remind you of the great controversy that broke out when the Tehri Dam was created in Uttarakhand. In the Garhwal region, there were so many people, so many local tribal communities who had to relocate. And it did become a very controversial as well as an emotional moment for people who had to leave behind their villages. So, a similar argument is valid here, and the local communities feel that their lands, their forests will get submerged. It will lead to environmental degradation, and eventually, whenever a displacement takes place, it does mean a threat to cultural practices and traditions because tribals, the local communities, are rooted in this ecology. So, for them, it could be a loss of their tribal heritage too. So protests are going on right now. The people are also complaining, quite like what the people said, what the Shompen and the Nicobari tribe said against the Great Nicobari project. The tribal councils were not happy there. Similarly, here as well, it is the local community and the people who complain that proper planning, proper consultation, consent was not taken. And these people are really concerned about the disastrous consequences if such a sensitive area, which is also very sensitive seismically. It is tectonically a seismic area. It is prone to landslides and quakes. So the people feel it could be very risky to conduct this project without further more environmental impacts, further more consultations with the local people. So now that has been scheduled for 12th of November. But do remember that why is the Naying hydroelectric power in the news, and also do remember the greater controversy that happens with respect to the area of Arunachal, because China also views this area as extremely strategically important. Okay, so that's important for UPSC. And now, quickly, the question: consider the following statements with regards to the 1000 megawatt Naying hydroelectric project in Arunachal. One, it is a run of the river hydroelectric project that's built on the Siom River, the Yomgo River, and it is a right bank tributary of Brahmaputra. Two, the project is being implemented by the Northeast Electric Power Corporation. It includes a concrete dam, an underground powerhouse, and various tunnels. Three, the project will produce near about 4966 gigawatts of electricity annually every year, and is scheduled to be commissioned by 2032. Now, with reference to the Mauling National Park. So, the Mauling National Park is located in the west bank of the Siom River near the project site. And the last and the fifth statement says the project has already received environmental clearance and the construction has started. So, you need to pick out the valid response here and you can post your answer here. There is an answer given here for you to verify. And before I take your leave, do remember that at StudyIQ IAS, we are announcing this great Diwali Utsav sale. It is all about providing heavy discounts and making our courses available, accessible, easily accessible to all aspirants. The ones who are writing the exam in 2026, little time is remaining, so now you can apply for the FastTrack batch. This is a morning evening October batch across Hindi, English, Hin English. You get various GS courses at a price of only 7499. Plus, alongside, if you enroll for this course, you also get massive discounts on optionals of your choice. A part of this entire course will also be current affairs, daily news, CSAT, answer writing, essay guidance. All of that just for 799 for 2026 next year, target year. But the sale ends on 22nd October. And for those who are writing exam in 27, even 28, for this great Diwali Utsav, you are also a part of this sale, absolutely. So you can use code SPLIVE on your screen, because even if you are writing the exam in 2027, we have a price of 18,999 only across GS courses and everything that I spoke about. Everything will be provided here too. English, in English, Hindi, English, all of that included. But the sale here also ends on 22nd October and same goes for 2028. You might think a lot of time is remaining, but then this could be a time where you could really get the right mentorship, get the right guidance, and professionally do a thorough preparation that ensures you success. Once again, at a price of only 32,999, an incredible offer just to celebrate the beautiful festival of Diwali only for you. You can use code SPLIVE. This sale is also valid till 22nd October. So please enroll. The batches have begun. Fresh batches are about to start. Do spread the word among your friends, among your colleagues, anybody who is looking and who is passionate for UPSC preparation. Help them. Spread the word around, and definitely they can be a part of StudyIQ IAS family, StudyIQ English. And this indeed ensures success for them. So thank you so much for being with us.